What is happening, Nerd Squad, and welcome back. Last time we were talking about alternate versions of the Man of Steel, and now we're on part 2, but you already knew that because you clicked this video, and you also watched part 1 first, right? But without further ado, I'm Taylor McWaters, this is Top 10 Nerd. Let's keep this super train going. Let's count down 10 more. Number 10, Lex L. We'll kick off part 2 with an Elseworld story. This comes from Superman issue 230. Appropriately taking place on Earth 230 as well, we see Lex Luthor as the Man of Steel. Lex L was born on Krypton in this reality, only his father was an absolute nightmare to live with. He was insane, so they both left their doomed homeworld and they both landed on Earth. Now when they crashed on Earth, they just happened to cause the deaths of these two bank robbers, Jonathan and Martha Kent. So Lana's adopted brother was actually Clark Kent, so the two ended up hating each other down the road. You know, we love opposites, a nice fun play on opposites, but I feel bad for Lex L because he's bald. He has to wear a wig in his normal life. Whereas Clark Kent in normal continuity just has to put on glasses and then he blends in. This dude has to wear, he must go through so many wigs. Those things are not cheap, no way. Number 9, Bizarro Superman. First appearing in Superboy issue 68. Bizarro was created, as you would guess, from a duplicating ray, hence the similarities, but only he's a Frankenstein clone. He has the opposite intentions. He can breathe fire and shoot ice out of his eyes, so it's a fun opposite. The new 52 version of Bizarro was created when Lex Luthor tried to clone Superman, and instead of waiting 10 years for the project to be complete, Lex released him only after 5, so in turn he had this pale, still shredded though, but slow version of Superman. Now the second Bizarro clone, making its first appearance with DCU Rebirth issue 1, ended up teaming up with Red Hood and Artemis, but the OG version is still my favorite. Even the way he spoke, everything would be the opposite of what he wants. It was so fun. So in the words of Bizarro, don't give this video a thumbs up and certainly do not subscribe if you haven't already. Number 8, Harvey Dent. Taking a dive into Tangent Comics, this Earth 9 Supes is a telepathic and telekinetic guy who uses a golden staff. I'm already a fan. Harvey's story began after he fell off the tallest building on Earth. When he stood up with only a few scratches, it was clear that his new abilities finally arrived. Dubbed the Superman, Harvey was capable of anything he put his mind to. The reason he got those abilities goes way back to the 70s when Nightwing was trying to create more superhumans. They used this experimental accelerant called the Miraclo solution, which is a catchy name, gotta admit, and then he dosed an entire town in South Carolina. Harvey was the only survivor, and after teaming up with the Flash and Atom, down the road Harvey decided to remake the Miraclo solution and give it to his fiancée Lola. Rumor has it she didn't survive, but she did, and she also received powers. Number 7, Karkan the Mighty. Instead of landing in America, what if Kal-El landed in the darkest jungles of Africa? Coming from Superboy issue 183, Karkan was raised by gorillas. Tarzan with laser vision. What a treat. Now he realizes he's different from the others after he learns how to fly. I guess the whole being a human thing didn't tip him off, but that's great. But this guy rocks. He's not smashing through buildings, fighting General Zod. No, this time he's saving hundreds of animals from floods. Guy grabs an elephant by its ears and just flies away. What a champ. I'm also a fan of Karkan's super suit. The one strap though looks a bit annoying. I wouldn't know which side to put it on. I'd never be too sure. He could totally wear this super suit upside down if he wanted to. Just saying. Number 6, Subject 1. Coming from the Flashpoint universe, Subject 1 had a different landing spot instead of Smallville. Kal-El crashed down here in Metropolis, of course killing random civilians because, you know, the ship landing in the middle of the city. So the government takes custody of him, and that's when Project Superman begins. He was used as a weapon. Subject 0, of course, also exists, starts secretly training the boy, and then Subject 2, Crypto, sacrifices its life attacking the Luthors. It's pretty dark, all these test subjects locked away in a lab their whole life. But in Flashpoint Volume 2, Issue 2, Batman, the Flash, and Cyborg come to break the Subject 1 out. And on his way out, the power source containing Subject 0 in the Phantom Zone was destroyed, so he was now free. We love a happy ending. In a timeline that's been ripped apart, that is. Number 5, Justice Lord. Coming from the animated universe, 2003 Justice League episode titled A Better World showed us one that's rather darker. This parallel universe showed Kal-El and the Justice Lord storming the White House. President Lex Luthor had just executed the Flash, and the team wasn't too happy about it. So Batman and Wonder Woman fought off the Secret Service while Superman tells Luthor that he's taking him in. Now Lex is obviously insane, so he has a button that can just start a nuclear war if pressed. One of those easy buttons, just, you know, a nightmare. Now he's threatening Superman, saying that he needs to use deadly force if he wants to save the people, so Superman does. His eyes glow red, and when Batman and Wonder Woman come back in, it's too late. They can smell his corpse. It's really gross. Superman, though, he was all smiles. This was just the start. Now it cuts to a couple years after this point, and the Justice Lords were ruling the Earth. And of course, freedom was not included. Number 4, Composite Superman. Joseph Meach made his first appearance in World's Finest issue 142. He was a diver struggling to get by, so he put on this sidewalk diving show. You know, those sidewalk diving shows we always come across. He jumped from a high building into this water tank, but the water, unbeknownst to him, was actually leaking out. So when he went to jump, he almost landed in a practically empty tank, but Superman thankfully saved his life. Now on top of that, Superman even gave this guy a job. He employed him as a custodian at the Superman Museum. So Joseph was pretty bitter after this point. He had his own misfortunes, plus he's now shining Superman's cape all day. I get it, but when a lightning bolt hit the statue of the Legion of Superheroes, Joseph got all of their power somehow. So he used this new shape-shifting power look to look both like Batman and Superman, going by the Composite Superman. So Meach would plan these situations for Batman and Superman to show up and save the day, but they were rigged to make these heroes look stupid. His powers were impressive, but not permanent. He reverted back to human form one day with no recollection of what he had done. Number 3, Cyborg Superman. Hank Henshaw made his first appearance in Adventures of Superman issue 465. He was a scientist, astronaut, and team leader of the Excalibur crew. He was joined on this LexCorp space mission by his wife and 2 others. A lot of Fantastic Four vibes going on here, that's for sure. In fact, after the cosmic rays got to the crew, the powers were actually quite similar. Terry, Hank's wife, was essentially the Invisible Woman, whereas Hank, his face started to melt off. It actually ended horribly for everybody but Terry. Now Superman saved her, the others it was too late, but in Adventures of Superman issue 468, it was revealed that Hank lived through iCloud. Yeah, basically he transferred all of his consciousness to LexCorp's mainframe, and then he took over NASA's equipment, and then he beamed his mind into the birthing matrix, the pod that carried Superman from Krypton. So now he was able to travel the cosmos and learn about other local life forms and their history. And he eventually came to the conclusion that Superman was evil and needed to be stopped. So he recruited Mongol and planned his revenge, but after Superman died battling Doomsday, Hank claimed to be the Superman reborn. Not a bad plan. So far he's killing it. Number 2, Superdoom. Coming from Earth 45, this Superman was also a project gone wrong. He first appeared in Action Comics Volume 2, Issue 9, when Jimmy Olsen created a machine that could turn thoughts into reality. So the gang decided to make a robot Superman. What could go wrong, I wonder? They ended up selling this device to Overcorp, which made it into a Superman the Last Night of Tomorrow, aka the monstrous Superdoom. Now Overcorp used him to take over the planet, obviously, but that still wasn't enough. Superdoom entered the bleed space and searched the multiverse for his creators, destroying planets and other versions of Superman, like Optiman of Earth 36 and Superman of Earth 42, but eventually it came to Earth 23 and had to go against their Superman, Calvin Harris, aka the Superman President. And if you want to know more about the President Superman, check out part 1 of this list after you're done, if you haven't done so already. And finally, number 1, Darkseid Superman. In Superman Darkseid issue 1, released back in the late 90s, we see an alternate life for Kal-El when Metron intercepts his escape pod and gives the Kryptonian to Darkseid instead. There you go, enjoy. Now it doesn't take long for Superman to then become the champion of Apocalypse. His name was instantly heard across the planet. This guy wore dark armor, he was way more brutal when it came to combat, and when he led the battle against New Genesis, he destroyed the home of the New Gods. And as the planet died, the High Father told him the truth about his origins and his true prophecy, so he was then sent to Earth, where he almost drowned because he was wearing all that badass armor, but luckily he was saved by a woman named Lane. Brutal origin story, but we got where we needed to be eventually. Like the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around, and as always, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave, that way you don't miss any part 2s in the near future. Also drop some suggestions for future lists down below, and we'll try to get around to all of them. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters, and we'll see you next time on Top 10 Nerd. See ya. Or 253 to 257, there we go. Number 4. Okay, is this composite or composite? Composite. Composite. Composite, right? Composite? Because like composite's a word.